Join us. Hi everybody, welcome back to Reflections Art Studio and Community Classroom. I'm Renee Dowling. My mission is to help people live happy, healthy, creative lives by teaching them art techniques so they can express themselves. And today we are going to focus on our writing. I hear over and over people saying, I don't like my writing. And so when I tell them that it's visual journaling, sometimes they're comfortable with actually playing and doing creative backgrounds. But then when it comes time to do the writing, they're hesitant. Now, of course, you can use stencils and things. All you have is your pen or your pencil or whatever you use to write. And so today I wanted to show you how you can use your actual writing to express yourself in a creative way. So last day when I had introduced comics to people, I asked everyone to choose a story or a conversation that they wanted to tell. And so I decided to illustrate my trip to Vancouver Island with my family from 2006. So it's a long time ago. And so up here, this is my handwriting, and I just turned it into bubble letters. And it's relatively easy once you get a hang of it. So I just wanted to show you that I did finish my visual journal page, and it ended up being a lot of fun. Again, the characters don't exactly look like my family, but they do resemble them. And so I hope you have fun. If you had, once you finish your page, I'd love to see it. I have a Facebook page called Renee Loves Art. There we go. Renee Loves Art Reflections Visual Journaling Group. And that's a safe place where you can save your work or share your work, pardon me. We're very supportive of each other. You can also share what you're doing in the comment section, or you can send me a private message. I'd love it if you would give me permission to share it with other people so they can see what people who aren't regular visual journalers are doing, so it gives them some encouragement. So I thought I would lead you through. Now here is one little, there we go. Here's one little zebra bird that I painted using watercolor paint. And I just collaged on some musical notes. And then I was trying to figure out what to put on there. And I put "Sing the Song You Were Born to Sing." And that's all my writing, so I could show you some of those letterings today. Here's some more easy lettering that I've done just in my journal. Just kind of really basic kind of stuff. It starts off really simple and you can get more complicated as you go. And I'll just show you some different things. And then here's a little sign that I made to give yourself or a loved one the gift of a happy, healthy, creative life. So I can show you how to make some of those letters. So if you are a person who likes to use a pencil, then feel free to use a pencil. I'm not going to use a pencil today. I'm just going to use my markers and maybe some crayons or some pencil crayons. Maybe just stick with felt pens, depending on how I feel about that. And I'm just going to put it on a piece of paper today, and I'll also show you at the end some books that I've found some really neat writing. So I'm just going to use some mixed media paper in case we decide to use watercolor. And let me just change this. All right, so the first thing that I would like you to do is I would like you just to pick any word, write it all in capital letters. So I'm just going to use my regular old writing. I just chose nice just because it's easier to use, or easier, it's not a very long word. You've already done. And you just join the ends together. Then you're just going to go beside it, up, like that. So it's a really easy way to make block letters. Just color it in. And that line that I originally had disappears. So the great thing about this is that it's using your own writing. But once you make it into block letters, it suddenly changes. Just write the word nice, but I'm also going to kind of make sure that I have a bit of thicker pen so you can see. Okay, so we can go around what you did. So like that, and then you just join them together, and then go down, join it together, go around. Now it can go up and across. Okay, so then once you start coloring it in, and any kind of goofy lines that you made, your marker. So it's all based on what look you want. Pretty easy. So let me try that again. And what you're going to do is just pretend that what you wrote isn't already there. So you're just going to write again. When I first saw this technique, I thought, oh, they're wrecking it. And you kind of get some funky letters. So then again, you can just color it in. Then you've created your own font. Now you can also do the same thing with your handwriting. Again, pretend you haven't written. And it looks like an absolute mess, but when you start to connect the lines, you could also just join them together with hatch lines. Hatching or cross-hatching. Actually, I'm going to change letters. Eventually you get to the point where you can just sit down and draw your own block letters. Because you've done it so many times, you don't have to think about it after a while. Right? Or instead of block letters, you can just make them curvy. So again, you could just... What do you think so far? So just start with your basic letter and then just curve, curve. You could add some hearts. You could add horizontal lines. Possibilities are endless. You could go from light to dark. Nice again. This time I'm going to higher and then curve around. It's pretty easy. And then with your eye, you can do the same thing. Maybe you want to make it a little thicker and curve around. And then at the end of the E, again, simple. You can do it that way. All right, so then another letters again, but this time you can still do the curves, but maybe just simply adding 3 dots. And you just suddenly make it a little fancier. And then at the top, same thing. Just add your 3 little dots. So once you have one style, you can adapt it. Maybe you want to put the dots at the top, and maybe underneath. Thicker. So on an N, you're going downstroke, and whatever. So it makes a triangle, and then just color that in. And then again, it just completely changes the look of the letter. On the C, you can just draw a vertical. Then same thing on the E. Change the look. Things you can do. You can just take your towards your belly, you're going to draw a line and then just color it in. And then on the end, you're going to go up, but then you come down. So then you can just draw another, thicken the line, and then just kind of join it into the loop to join the eye. And again, color that in. So this is if you haven't mastered like the brush stroke, the brush lettering. So the eye. Sort of looks like calligraphy without being calligraphy. The whole idea though, you go up and then the downstroke is on this side. And then you can follow through. So again, it's just a fun way of using your own. And then here's another downstroke. So you're going to do curvy line down. And then again, join them together. Color it in. In. The E is a little trickier, so you have to make sure that you do it quite loopy otherwise. And then what you do is on the bottom, so on the edges, on the ends, after you've done it, then you get a totally different look. Instead of copying somebody else's. Okay. On the ends, just simple dots. One of my favorite ones is to, again, and you can do uppercase or lowercase. And then wherever there's a down stroke, just draw, and then you can do little dots going down. You can just do it on one side. Add that little swirl on it. So just kind of, you start a little bit further back and then you come in and do your little dot. But then I'm going to do it again and maybe a third time. And fancier. See where it starts to curve where you go down. And then on this side, a backward C. Like that. And then just color it in. But it's amazing how you just start with a simple S and you can make it a lot fancier. And then you can go back to what we already learned. You can put 3 dots on the curve. Maybe you want to do some on this side too. Kind of fun. And then wherever 2 lines meet, you can just kind of make it a little thicker. S. Now I, you can have lots of fun with. It's one of my favorite letters to do. So again, do your line going down, but then kind of curve it up and do that little, and bring it back like an elf shoe. And then at the top, you can get going. You can just go on and on and on forever. So this is a fun way to do a name or a quote. So the nice part is you have thick lines and thin lines, and again the 3 dots. And you can come down, and then where it's starting to curve, You could do swirly inside the G. And then again, you can do there. So there's a very fancy sing. All right, so here's another really fun up. It's up to you how you want to do it. And on this side, I'm just going to do this, repeat the same stroke as over here. And then at the bottom, I'm going to add a little swirl. So we're just building on what we've previously done. And then kind of add some little cuteness. You can just add some circles. Or if you want to, make them some happy faces since the word is happy. Isn't that cute? And then with the A, I'm going to really exaggerate that line. I'm just going to H2. And then on this one, I can curve that again. And again, draw the happy faces. And if you want to, then you can just color around the happy faces. The P, again, just draw a line. Sometimes it's easier to draw the face first, then do the circle. I think that's what I'm going to do. And so the Y, we'll keep with the pattern. So draw a line. And there's happy. So this time I'm going to do the word healthy. Side in nature. So this font is a real fun one. Again, start with your basic lettering. I'm on this side, I'm going to just make a great big box. And inside, I'm going to draw some little flowers, some real simple flowers. Again, you can use color. Maybe make it a little curvy up there. And then, now you might decide simple. The H. And then the Y. And then you can put it in a little setting if you like, so you can add some grass. Ring. Then you can add your colors if you like. You could even do like a sky. These are Timbo brush markers. Like a brush. And then the other end, it's more of a fine tip. The Tombow are very juicy. Careful. It activates colors or the markers that you've already used. Fun one. So if you have some pencil crayons, this would work really well. You can use watercolor. Some curvy block letters. That's one thing I always. Now don't worry about the lines that are there in the middle. So all I'm doing is just following the letter that I've already made, but just curving the ends. Okay, so this is the fun part. Now I'm using Prisma watercolor pencils. Like I said, you can use watercolor paints. You can also use Crayola, but these are really great because they blend so nicely together. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to pick two. Let's top color in little circles. To take the magenta at the bottom. I'll never forget, in grade 7, Mr. Jensen made us all practice coloring. We had to all do in little circles. And over top of some of the yellow that you've already done. Until you get a smooth transition. Where you So then basically what you're doing is you're doing some color mixing and some blending. And keep going until you can't see where one stops and one started. To see what you've done today. Hopefully you're practicing along. This would be really fun to do like on birthday cards, in your journal, writing a favorite quote, writing a title for your visual journaling page. Or maybe it's just some fun. Instead of watching TV, you could sit down and do this after supper or 20 minutes after breakfast or during breakfast even, and give yourself some time to have fun. More creative, maybe you want to either on the inside or the outside, it's up to you. You could add some fun and turn it into like a spring garden. You could do it on the inside too, or you could do dots. Like I said before, the possibilities are endless. Making your writing more graphic. You could put a little bird on it or a little ladybug crawling. Little inchworm. Possibilities are endless. So I thought I would end by showing you a couple of books that I have, creative lettering. Of course, there's lots of ideas on Pinterest and on the internet, and there's lots of people who do brushstroke kind of stuff. Some people really like to draw lines and be really precise, but I like to just kind of go with the flow, and if I make a mistake, I just figure out how to cover it up. So this is a book that I found, I don't even know where I got it, but it's called change it around for you. Creative Lettering, Techniques and Tips from Top Artists. And the person who put it together was Jenny Doe. So that's really kind of fun. I mean, there's so many, I could spend hours showing you different stuff that I've learned, but just sit down and again, start with your basic writing and go with the flow and see how you can change your own. I found this one at a garage sale, The Art of Creative Lettering by Becky Higgins. And this has 50 amazing new alphabets. I got the happy one from there, and I think the healthy one from this one too. So I think I paid like $1.25 for this. But just some fun things like turning your writing and just drawing a pencil or a crayon. Some fun stuff like that. Here's one where you can draw some little roses on it and some fun. I found this one. I didn't show you any of these techniques. These are sort of advanced, but I found this one called Illuminated Letters. And I actually found this at the Maple Creek toy store. They have puzzles and all kinds of books. And let me just try and find. So it shows you some really cute ones. Like this one here has like mermaid on it. Little mermaids. This one has like a unicorn. So they're just really fun. This one has butterflies. So thank you for joining me today. And please show me what you've done. If you participate, I'll enter your name into a draw for a full day art retreat out in my art studio on the Wholesome Road, just outside of 10 minutes outside of Medicine Hat. I appreciate your comments, and if you have any suggestions for improvement. I know I can't improve the quality of the video because of the internet kicking in and out, but there might be some things that I might be doing, like doing stuff upside down or whatever, and just let me know if there's something I can do to improve. And I would also appreciate some compliments if you've enjoyed it. One thing that I've been asking people to do is, if you can afford it, you can donate to the Medicine Hat Food Bank. And just to say, thank you, Renee, for giving me some free lessons. And I would like to give back in a different way by going to donate at medicinetfoodbank.com, and you can do an e-transfer. If you do, and you don't mind telling me, then I'll also enter you into a draw. Every $5 you spend, I'll put in another draw ticket. So I hope you live a happy, healthy, creative life. Be well, everybody. We can get through this all together by being creative, being thoughtful, being kind. and we'll see you tomorrow.